On World News Tonight this Monday, big changes in the country's gun control laws. As of today, an immediate background check for anyone buying any gun from a licensed dealer. Two of the country's economic giants, Ford and General Motors, did they really collaborate with the Nazis in World War II? Another American institution is bought by a foreign firm. Are Americans worried anymore? And trying to record the Asian tiger on film when his enemy showed up.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening. We're going to begin tonight with the latest attempt by the federal government to make sure that certain people in the country are not allowed to walk into a registered gun dealer and buy a gun. As of today, any licensed gun dealer in the country selling any gun must do an immediate background check on any buyer. The 5-day waiting period, which has been enforced for the last 5 years on handguns only, is a thing of the past. This is the busiest time of year for the nation's registered dealers. There are more than 100,000 of them, and any change in the gun laws is cause for debate. First, here's ABC's Tom Foreman.
The changes to the Brady law mandate that all buyers of new handguns, rifles, and shotguns must submit to an FBI background check. The licensed gun dealer will call in the purchaser's driver's license, date of birth, address, and other information to FBI computer operators who will scan for criminal records or mental health problems. The sale will be approved or rejected immediately. But there is a huge loophole. Brady does not cover private sales of any guns.
The same amount of firearms will be sold. It's just they won't be sold by people like me. They'll be sold by individuals out of the trunks of cars.
Those who favor stricter gun control say people who want to avoid government scrutiny may indeed turn to weekend gun shows where there are plenty of private dealers and almost anyone can buy a gun.
And we know that today a lot of criminals, in fact, buy successfully guns at gun shows from unlicensed dealers. We have to close that loophole.
Another problem, critics say, because the FBI system searches only computerized records, people with recent arrests, which are not yet in the computer, could be wrongly approved for gun purchases. And with the instant check system in place, there is now no federal waiting period to buy a gun. Gun opponents say that could lead to more crimes of passion and impulsive suicides. New Mexico started instant check last spring and dropped the waiting period. Wendy Connerly says that allowed her husband, David, who was having personal problems, to buy a pistol and kill himself within 30 minutes.
I truly feel that if he had had more time to think about it, that he would be here today.
5 years ago, when Brady was being debated, people who favored stricter gun control gave up the waiting period just to get the law passed. Gun rights advocates agreed to include all guns in exchange for instant background checks. But now those compromises are taking hold in these changes to Brady, and both sides are finding devils in the details. Tom Foreman, ABC News, Fort Collins, Colorado.
As we said, it's controversial. The National Rifle Association said it's going to sue over the new system, calling it an illegal national registration of gun owners. Let's take a closer look. However slowly or quickly the FBI and the registered gun dealers work out the kinks in this new system, whatever loopholes get closed or stay open, however the debate goes about gun control in general, the concern about violence using guns does not diminish. In Richmond, Virginia, they are now embracing one set of federal gun laws very vigorously. ABC's Barry Serafin tonight on Project Exile.
For years, Richmond has had an unsavory distinction. Its per capita murder rate has been among the top 5 in American cities, but not anymore.
We see in Richmond a huge drop in the homicide rate overall and an even bigger drop in the gun homicide rate.
Officials here have used a simple and effective tactic. Instead of local laws, they're using federal firearms laws, federal prosecutors, and federal courts, because that makes it easier to crack down on criminals caught with guns. It is called Project Exile.
The process is swift and the guidelines are tough. Most defendants, 3 out of 4, are denied bail. And if convicted, they face stiff, mandatory sentences in federal prison. They are, in effect, exiled from the community. Case in point, Derek Holmes. Police found a small amount of marijuana and a loaded semi-automatic pistol in his car. His lawyer, Peter Eliades, says in state court, Holmes would have faced a light sentence.
Probably looking at a period of probation and even a possible dismissal.
But under Project Exile,
you're looking at, in this case, a sentencing range of 2 to 2.5 years in the federal penitentiary.
Since February of last year, more than 240 armed criminals have been removed from the community. The average sentence, 55 months in prison. More than 400 guns like these have been seized, and the annual murder rate is down more than 40%. To make sure that the message about Project Exile gets out, local businesses are paying for billboards and signs on a city bus. Criminals are getting the point.
Got the stuff, I've got the stuff, it's in his pocket.
Now, police say when making arrests, in this case a suspect with a pocket full of money and crack cocaine, they are finding fewer guns. Because lawbreakers know if they get caught with guns, they face a long stretch in prison. Barry Seraphin, ABC News, Richmond.
Other cities are expressing interest in Project Exile. Rochester, New York has already adopted it. And tomorrow we'll take a look at another issue, suing the gun makers for the costs of the gun violence. In a moment, forced again to look at their past, the American car makers, and was there a relationship with the Nazis?
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings, brought to you by 1010-321.
Have a bagel, dear.
There's a hole in it, Marion.
Hey, guys!
Sweetheart, why is Scooter in our window?
Big news. 1010-321 is better than ever.
It's always been great.
But now 1010-321 saves 50% on calls over 10 minutes.
See, Tom, you don't know everything.
50% off, 10 minutes every day?
Every day, 24/7.
What about calls to Canada?
International calls over 10 minutes are half off, too.
That's great, dear. Come in out of the cold.
Marion.
Can't. Gotta tell the Peterson.
Who doesn't want to save 50%?
It hurts so bad. That burning sensation. So I saw my doctor. He said where heartburn hurts most is where Mylanta works fast. All down through here where you want help fast. My doctor said Mylanta.
We ease life's pressures. We help bring people back to life. We take care of best friends. We're the people of Pfizer. We develop medicines that make the world a better place. We spend over $2 billion a year on research. That's why we believe we'll introduce more new medicines for more diseases than anyone else. We're not just looking for cures, we're going to find them. Pfizer. Life is our life's work.
There are 4 big companies in the news today, 2 very much concerned with the future and 2 being forced to confront the past. First, the past. America's 2 biggest car makers, General Motors and Ford, have denied accusations published today in the Washington Post that they did collaborate with the Nazis during World War II. Here's ABC's John Martin.
Many of the charges against Ford are contained in a class action lawsuit which includes Ilsa Ivanova, a Russian woman who says she was kidnapped in 1942 by German troops.
She was separated from her family and she was put to work in this Ford plant for the rest of the war.
We were treated as animals. We had no names, only numbers. We were starving and it was freezing cold.
Well before World War II began, say historians, General Motors and Ford officials, including Henry Ford, ingratiated themselves with Hitler and Nazi Germany. The lawsuit says Ford retained control of and profits from its plant in Cologne, even while it was making thousands of German army trucks. Ford's plant manager worked for 2 masters, Ford and Hitler, says a German historian.
His effort was at the same time to make profits for his company and to serve the war ends.
But Ford denies that, insisting Nazis took complete control of the plant.
They dictated what was going to be made, how it was going to be made, what the labor force looked like, the working conditions.
Likewise today, General Motors emphatically denied helping Nazis. It said its Opel plant was expropriated by the Third Reich and operated by the Reich. And economic historian Simon Reich, who lost family in the Holocaust and studied the German war industry, says there is no evidence the companies were in control.
Although Ford, like GM, tried everything it could to collaborate, it was not able to maintain control of its assets.
So Iwanova worries that her lawsuit will wind up being rebuffed the way she was when she went to the plant after the war.
They did not even want to talk to us. They gave us nothing except this pin. Just a pin for 3 years hard labor and starvation.
One key element which may help resolve this dispute, internal Ford archives, which the company says it is studying. John Martin, ABC News, Washington.
On the money tonight, the two companies looking at the future. The biggest takeover of a U.S. investment firm by a foreign bank. Germany's Deutsche Bank is buying Bankers Trust for $10.1 billion. The new company will be the world's largest financial services firm. The deal is proof, certainly, that when it comes to foreign ownership of U.S. companies, some attitudes have changed. Here's ABC's Betsy Stark.
The takeover of a major American financial institution by a German banking giant just a decade ago might have aroused suspicion about the dangers of foreign ownership, the fear many Americans felt when the Japanese bought Rockefeller Center. But nowadays, whether it's Deutsche Bank taking over Bankers Trust, British Petroleum buying Amoco, or Daimler-Benz merging with Chrysler, most Americans seem to take foreign ownership in stride.
Today, we are the fastest growing and the strongest economy in the world. We have some of the most competitive companies in the world. And I think that people subconsciously see foreigners' desire to invest in the United States as an affirmation that America has won the competitive battles.
In the last several years, Americans have come to see not only the risks, but the benefits of an increasingly global economy right in their own backyards. Toyota, for example, has brought a lot of jobs to Kentucky and California. BMW is one of South Carolina's biggest employers.
More and more Americans work for foreign companies. More and more Americans produce products that are sold to foreign companies. People are aware of that in some subtle and very important ways.
Only a decade after Americans worried about Asians taking over their prime real estate, it is Asia that is worried about Americans buying up theirs. Just as Japan once took advantage of American economic weakness, American companies are now looking to take advantage of theirs. Betsy Stark, ABC News, New York.
Still on the money, those very big merger talks continue between Exxon and Mobil. If they succeed, whatever they call it, it will be the world's biggest oil company. Oil prices have been falling, and the merger would enable the companies to compete better in the future by reducing their costs, mainly the cost of prospecting for and producing new oil. There is a thought that thousands of workers might also be laid off as a result. Oil prices fell below $11 a barrel today for the first time since 1986. On Wall Street today, the Dow Jones Industrial Average was down more than 216 points to close at 9116. On the NASDAQ, stocks lost just under 67 points. Internet stocks took a real beating today. An example today of how purchasing power follows demographic change. Latinos are the fastest growing segment of the population, and according to the Dow Jones News Service, their purchasing power is expected to triple over the next decade to an estimated $940 billion a year. When we come back, 4 days and still on the loose.
You thought it was over with, but you're still smoking. You keep trying to quit, but you keep lighting up. Zyban can help you look at quitting a whole new way. It's the nicotine in cigarettes that's addictive. It's been proven, and most people need help to quit. Today, there's nicotine-free Zyban. Not a patch, not a gum. Instead, the first pill that is part of a comprehensive program from your doctor can help you quit smoking. Zyban is prescription medicine that can help reduce your urge to smoke and make quitting bearable. It's important to know there's a risk of seizure associated with Zyban. To reduce the risk, don't take Zyban if you've had an eating or seizure disorder or are being treated with Wellbutrin. Don't take Zyban if you're taking an MAO inhibitor. Quitting is tough, and Zyban won't work for everyone. Call now for a $5 coupon and free product information. Ask your doctor if Zyban is right for you and break free from nicotine. Break free from smoking.
Just a thought, that's what Einstein said. Just a view of the future, 2 paces ahead. Think about me, think about you, all the good things a little good thinking can do. Just a world
But there's one thing everybody in Washington can agree on.
That would be?
There's more heartburn than ever.
And more Republicans.
And more burning, more pressure.
More pain.
Yeah, and it's time someone did more about it, too.
Alka-Seltzer does more, with more medicines than any antacid to speed more relief to your worst heartburn and pain.
Yeah, Alka-Seltzer. This country deserves more.
You sound like a Democrat.
Democrats just promise more. How does this marriage last?
Alka-Seltzer, the more medicine heartburn medicine.
Near Huntsville, Texas tonight, the search continues for the first inmate to escape from death row in Texas since the 1930s. Convicted killer Martin Gurula has been on the run for 4 days now, and today police showed us exactly where the escape took place. Here's ABC's Steve Osunsami.
This is the watchtower 29-year-old Martin Gurula ran past, avoiding 18 to 20 rounds of gunfire. He cleared these razor-top fences, and when he made his Thanksgiving night escape from this maximum security prison, his road to freedom was the dark and foggy woods. The death row inmate has created an embarrassing situation for the Texas prison system. Bloodhounds lost his trail off a highway, and as the search enters its fourth evening, police admit their man could be long gone.
We're going to still concentrate in this immediate area until we find out otherwise.
Gurula was on death row for the 1992 murder of a Corpus Christi restaurant owner. 6 other death row inmates joined him in the escape, but were captured. Investigators who questioned them say they don't believe Gurula had help on the outside.
The inmate has not had any visitors since July of this year, so we're not getting any signals out of correspondence that he had any outside help.
Some 500 prison guards are now stationed all across Huntsville, and residents, most of whom work for one of the 7 local prisons, are also on high alert.
Thank you, ma'am. Be careful.
Tips are pouring in, including a report on a car stolen over the weekend. Investigators won't say whether the lead panned out, but maintain that most of their evidence suggests Gurula is still here. Steve Osunsami, ABC News, Huntsville, Texas.
In Florida, prosecutors have charged the controversial Church of Scientology in the death of one of its members. The church pleaded not guilty today to felony charges of practicing medicine without a license and the abuse of a disabled adult. ABC's Ron Claiborne is in Pinellas County.
After being involved in a minor car accident, 36-year-old Lisa McPherson began acting oddly, wandering aimlessly, taking off her clothing. So she was taken to this hospital for psychiatric evaluation. A few hours later, 8 fellow members of the Church of Scientology convinced doctors to release Lisa to their care. 17 days later, she was dead. Investigators say Scientology members held Lisa against her will at this church-owned hotel, forcing her to undergo a regimen of herbs, vitamins, and drugs to treat psychosis. Scientologists oppose conventional psychiatric therapy. Police say the day she died, Scientologists took Lisa to this hospital 25 miles away, passing closer hospitals, because they knew a Scientologist doctor who worked there. One investigator concluded this delay deprived Lisa of her only opportunity for survival. An autopsy found that she was severely dehydrated and had lost 40 pounds. The cause of death was an embolism.
Lisa, the last 17 days of her life, was put in the position to be treated in a certain manner according to their dogma, and that led to her death.
The Church of Scientology's lawyer and officials declined to discuss today's plea, but recently a spokesperson for the church said it was time to put this unfortunate incident behind us. Even if convicted of all of the charges, the maximum penalty is a $15,000 fine. Ron Claiborne, ABC News, Pinellas County, Florida.
This is the end of the hurricane season, according to the calendar anyway. It was the deadliest in 200 years and one of the most enduring. There is still Hurricane Nicole way out in the Atlantic, the 10th hurricane of the year. There were also 4 tropical storms in the Atlantic. In the Pacific this year, there were 9 hurricanes in all. When we come back, attitude and impeachment.
Searching for an echinacea to help support your immune system? Nature's Resource knows you should look for an echinacea that contains glycolic acid and polyphenols to get results. And unlike some, Nature's Resource guarantees the potency and purity you need. Make your herbal resource Nature's Resource. Follow the knowledge.
I've loved investing all of my life. It allows me to think about all the new creative things going on around me. I come across companies with great new ideas. So what do? I jump onto Schwab.com, and I can get all kinds of information. I can get earnings projections. I can get what the company's done in the past. I can get their balance sheet, something about their management. I think the internet is sort of the final empowerment of the individual. It allows me to have a complete, comprehensive amount of information to allow me to make a very informed decision. If you're going to be a sage investor, a thoughtful investor, someone who really knows, you can draw down this information when you want it, in the form that you want it, the customization you want it, as fast as you want it or as slow as you want it. It's about freedom. Now you're in control.
Everyone's talking about my new cookies.
I don't know how you made them better, but you did. These new cookies rock.
Pillsbury cookies, hot and fresh in 15 minutes.
Would you like one?
Before you do this or this or this, you want to have this and this and this.
You'd be surprised how much of our technology goes into your day.
So for this or this or this.
We're Siemens.
We can do that.
It hurts so bad. That burning sensation. So I saw my doctor. He said where heartburn hurts most is where Mylanta works fast. All down through here where you want help fast. My doctor said Mylanta.
In Washington today, the Attorney General Janet Reno said she needs another 60 days to decide if an independent counsel should investigate Harold Ickes, the president's former deputy chief of staff. The question is whether Mr. Ickes lied to a Senate committee investigating campaign finance violations about White House assistance to the Teamsters Union. There are reports tonight that the House Judiciary Committee is expanding its impeachment investigation to fundraising allegations against President Clinton. The White House said today that President Clinton is likely to turn down an invitation to testify before the committee next week. Chairman Henry Hyde blasted Mr. Clinton today for those 81 questions, or rather for the president's answers to those 81 questions put to the president in the hope that he would clarify his position on the Monica Lewinsky case. Mr. Hyde said instead of shedding new light on the key facts, the president chose to evade them. So how does this all affect the impeachment process? Here's ABC's Linda Douglas.
The president's answers did not change any minds on the House Judiciary Committee, where members are dug in partisan camps. Republicans called Mr. Clinton an unrepentant liar, while Democrats argued there is still no proof that he has done anything impeachable. But in the House at large, some members are struggling to make up their minds about impeachment. When the House returns to vote later this month, just a handful of members may determine the outcome. One Democrat says Mr. Clinton's legalistic answers are not making his own decision any easier.
He just seemed incapable of answering a question, giving a straight answer to a reasonable question.
Congressman Moran says he is deeply disappointed in the president, but not quite ready to see him impeached. Congressman Peter King, one of several Republicans who plan to vote against impeachment, says the president's answers did not change his mind either. I'm disappointed but not surprised. It is what we have come to expect. Democratic leaders now are crafting a tough censure resolution, hoping to appeal to fence-sitting Republicans and to Democrats who don't want to let the president off the hook. But Republican leadership sources say they may not let that come to the floor for a vote, leaving members with just one choice, to impeach or not. Linda Douglas, ABC News, Capitol Hill.
Over at the White House today, President Clinton and the Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat met for a one-day conference about the worldwide assistance program for the Palestinians. The U.S. has pledged close to $900 million over the next 5 years to fight poverty and improve the infrastructure in Gaza and the West Bank. Overall, 45 countries have promised at least $3 billion. In a moment, where have all the tigers gone?
Has frequent heartburn been a persistent problem for you? Have you treated it but still suffer on 2 or more days a week? Do you keep getting heartburn even though you've changed your diet? Your heartburn may be due to acid reflux disease. Ask your doctor about Prilosec. One capsule daily can provide complete 24-hour heartburn relief because it controls acid for 24 hours. 24 hours. Ask your doctor if Prilosec is right for you. Call to learn more. The most common side effects are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. Want 24-hour heartburn relief with one daily dose? Ask your doctor about the most prescribed acid control medicine in America, Prilosec.
The days of wearing bulky protective undergarments are over, all because of a revolutionary new product from Depend. Introducing disposable protective underwear. It combines a discreet, sure fit with a built-in super absorbent panel. It's the closest thing to regular underwear you can buy. So slim fitting, all that shows is your confidence. It's your life. Live it the way you want. New Depend protective underwear.
Get all you want out of life with Depend.
Dandruff, psoriasis, scalp dermatitis. If you ask all the dermatologists listed here to recommend a therapeutic shampoo, Neutrogena T-Gel would come out #1. T-Gel works on all 3 itchy, flaky scalp conditions. Neutrogena T-Gel, it works.
Danny Sorensen, Lieutenant. Good to meet you, Danny.
He's Bobby's replacement, and no one will let him forget it.
Diane, I'm sorry for your loss.
You don't know anything about my loss. You don't know anything about him.
Rick Schroeder joins the squad.
Partners are supposed to trust each other.
That develops in time.
All new NYPD Blue, ABC Tuesday.
Finally from us this evening, confirming the conservationists' worst suspicions. In several countries of the Far East, they're trying to determine the status of the Asian tiger. In Thailand, they put cameras in the tiger's jungle habitat designed to record their movement. The cameras are programmed to photograph anything that trips these infrared beams of light.
We don't have to catch the tigers. We don't have to disturb them. We don't have to disturb their habitat.
But guess what showed up? When the survey was over, there were more poachers than tigers on film. Poachers who take them alive for zoos, and others who kill them for their skins and their organs. Aphrodisiacs, you know.
We've found that there are fewer tigers than we'd ever thought were out in those forests. And that's an alarm bell for us. What it means is that tigers are really on their way out.
The Asian tiger population has declined by 95% in the last 100 years. In Thailand, this survey found only 6. That is our report on World News Tonight. Later on Nightline, how one man had a huge impact on the city of Seattle. I'm Peter Jennings. We hope you have a good evening. Good night.
Tomorrow, the gun industry, under attack like never before. What some cities are doing to keep them off the streets. Watch ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. This has been a presentation of ABC News. More Americans get their news from ABC News than from any other source. ABC